Paintings are full of unsolved mysteries. To understand the mystery of each picture, you have to get acquainted with the life and thoughts of its creator. Let these paintings come to life. Watch our new TV program at the gallery. Is it possible that picture will take us to a different historical period? Today, we meet Kazakh artist Kurmangazy Akashev with his painting, The Struggle with Destiny, which will tell us about the tragic events which happened in early 1930s of the last century. The painting, The Struggle with Destiny. Author, Kurmangazy Akashev. Almaty, 2015. Canvas size, 100 by 120 centimeters. Canvas, oil. The artist carefully chooses the color palette. In this palette, we see restraint in color. He literally creates such a smear expression and temperament, and we see these rushing streams and feel their physicality due to the dynamics of such a drawing here. Biographical reference. Kurmangazy Akashev was born in 1964 in Todikogan region. In 1991, he graduated from Thereby State Pedagogical University in Almaty. Painting is my voice. I just want to work and paint pictures. Today, he is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Graphics, where he studied before. In 2006, he became a member of the Kazakh Union of Artists. He participated in many international symposiums and exhibitions. He is a unique painter. He works in various genres, especially compositionally. National theme he knows very well. It is very important to see the form, show the form and color in our traditional Kazakh style, and he can do it well. If we talk about the Kurmangazy Akashev's work, we can distinguish three main areas in which he operates. They are landscape, revealing the beauty of his native land, still life paintings, where it is important to breathe life into inanimate objects, and finally, work in traditional style, reflecting the traditions, customs and culture of the native people. A lot of artists prefer stories. Their paintings are history-based. The historical genre in painting is an image of events that are important for the people in all mankind and past. Traditionally, historical painting includes paintings not only on subjects of real events, but also based on mythological themes. And of course, these issues are very close to the artist. He knows very well the life of the village. And these paintings are very interesting in the sense that it feels like the artist was a witness to those events which he depicted on his canvases. Kurmangazy Akashev graduated from the Abai Kazakh Pedagogical Institute. In 1986, he went to the training course and then without any difficulties was admitted to the first year of the Graphic Arts faculty, from where he graduated with honors. During his last test, I did not even say anything. Only members of commission were sitting and clapping with praise. Nevertheless, Akashev in his work preferred the Impressionist and Post-Impressionist direction. I want to draw in this style. I do not even think, I just draw.
как есть вот такой.
Impressionism is a trend in painting that originated in France in the mid-19th century. Prominent representatives of this trend were Paul Cézanne, Edgar Degas, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Camille Pissarro. It was very important for Impressionists to transmit movement and color on the canvas. They were opposed to the conventions of classicism, romanticism, and academic art. The most important thing for an artist is to capture the atmosphere. Certainly, the author of our artwork succeeds in it. He uses a limited palette that brings together the whole picture. He also uses a very broken, nervous, and pretty loose brushstrokes, which are technically integrate our canvas. They make it very natural and alive. You can compare Kurmangazy Akashev with our great Kazakh artist Abuhan Kastev. As Abuhan Kastev mentioned, landscape without people is dead. With people, it comes to life with its own meaning. At Kurmangazy Akashev's painting, we see the same beautiful landscape motifs, ordinary people's lives, and all this creates a very beautiful harmony of a human life and nature, and their excellent cooperation. It is very interesting that modern Kazakhstan artists do not just worship Abuhan Kastev, but tend to be in the vicinity of Jarkent city, where he has created his paintings. Kurmangazy Akashev is not an exception. As the artist says, these places have a powerful energy. He draws from almost the same places where Abuhan Kastev worked, and in this sense, it is the reverence and respect towards older generation. And if you look at the product, they are in a completely different manner. That means he respects them and is guarded by them. But in his work, he is completely different. I guess I'm a real Kazakh. Grew up in a village, place where I was born, full of mountains, clean air and beautiful nature. Mostly in the spring, summer. All of these had a huge effect on me, give me power. Let's go through other works of Kurmangazy Akashev. The Conversation. On this canvas, a grey-bearded old man and a little boy are painted, talking about something. Author says that he painted his father and himself in the vicinity of his native village. This painting is special for him as a memory, and so he does not intend to sell it. He will leave it for his children. On the left side of the canvas, we see a very blurry and fuzzy silhouette of a woman on a horse, which has already passed the river, and it almost blends into the background. She goes away. Thus, the author shows that she has escaped the fate of struggle. People who are at the forefront has yet to overcome it. I have lined up parallel with the work of Soviet artist Plastov. Usually those paintings are declarative and narrative, and there you can see war times of 1940s. They are interpreted by the artist through the everyday plot. Even the simple landscape from the first sight looks like a usual landscape, but when you read you can see a fascist flying, and only then you realize that this paint is dedicated to the tragedy. The struggle with destiny shows ordinary scene, but this is only at the first sight. crossing the river on horses is quite common for nomads, but it was not a usual migration. Otherwise, this picture would not have carried such an anxious energy. We can experience similar emotions from another work of the artist, the resettlement. Resettlement is a traditional nomadic culture phenomenon. On the other hand, it also translated as a goodbye. Only after a conversation with artists, I realized that it is a drama considered as a disaster. In Kazakh memory, you can find a concept of Aktaban Shuburundi. It was devoted to the tragedy of the 18th century, which until today is cherished in people's memory. It was a period of the Great Disaster, which was repeated in the 1920s and the 1930s. Historical reference. In 1927, the 25th Congress of the Communist Party took place, and it proclaimed the policy of collectivization. Our culture had to go through transition from an individual work to collective. Collectivization was carried out through violent methods. Also, reprisals against the wealthy villages were conducted. Wealthy people had to disappear as class. Cattle and goods were taken away from people, and people who opposed the new rule were deported or shot. Repression and hunger had caused massive exodus. Only a few people know that the struggle with destiny was painted several times. In the beginning, there were just some pencil sketches, outlines with different options. During a couple of weeks, the artist kept this idea in his head. Then he started to try it out on a paper. It did not work. There were no emotional charge that he wanted to convey. When this idea has gained a certain composition, only then he started to work. He also knows the story from his parents, through his grandfather, grandmother, through parents who were forced to flee to China during the collectivization years. History of people's tragedy is now being actively studied. Let's go through other works of Kurmangazy Akashev. Kazakh dance. This painting is filled with light. Through the bright colors, he transfers the mood of joy and fun. Remarkably, clear image of faces and figures for artists does not really matter. The main idea is to show the mood and movement on the canvas. Here we can feel the emotion of a man caught in an emergency situation by fate. But you can think about this fate only when you read the title of the work. Painting's name is a key to deciphering its meaning. He selects gloomy, dark tones on purpose. That is the nature we know. Our mountains lost their color in the evening. It is still here, but almost lost. And then a threatening moment has come. Let's go through the world-famous paintings on historical themes. Painting by Vasily Surikov, Morning of Streltsy's death penalty. The artist tells the story about the massacre of the archers after an unsuccessful rebellion in 1698. Karol Brylov drew his famous painting The Last Days of Pompeii in 1833. The artist painted how in 1709, during only one night eruption of Vesuvius volcano destroyed Pompeii, Herculaneum and Stabia cities. We are only two in the family, my sister and I. My mother made a huge impact on my choice of work. She is not an artist, but she knew that I really liked to draw, so she supported me. When our relatives visited our home, she always showed them my drawings, which she collected. And I thought that I am an artist. so I was trying to do even better. Mostly I just copy-painted from the magazine or newspaper drawings. Kurmangazy Akashev's drawings were so good that he was invited to the exhibition quite often, and he became a member of the editorial board of the school. One day, he was entrusted to draw Lenin, while this time it was allowed only to members of the Union of Artists. Today, Kurmangazy Akashev is a respected teacher of painting. He passes down his skills to young generation of artists. We are not trying to make students draw like Akashev. That's why he always tries to make every student find their own style, their own vision, their own handwriting. When it appears that student got some hints, vision or color combination, he tries to go deeper and develop this feeling. As a teacher and a creative worker, he experiments a lot and works a lot, constantly changing the palette. It can be a discrete color or very bright, enriched to make sure that colors match the nature of events painted on canvas. Sometimes we see plasticity and straggly canvas. Sometimes it is very smooth. And here the artist experiments a lot. What always remains, and he is faithful to that, we can see a bright and clear composition in his paintings. There are no minor parts and accessories. I have a lot of students. They come here just for a talk or discuss the picture. They show who did what, and I come to them, they come to my studio, we share our experiences. I just like to teach. I want to convey something to the young generation, to teach more about painting and art. This is an art. It's not just a picture, it should be charged with energy.
Там есть энергия.
Let's think about why this painting is called The Struggle with Destiny. River symbolizes the fate. It is very rough, it flows quite strong. We see how the horse gets stuck in the water and tries to get out. And across the horse figure, and how the rider turned his head, we see and understand that they will be saved and will get out of here. It is impossible to cross the mountain river by yourself. You should use a horse at least. It just seems that it is knee-deep, but in fact it is up to its chest. So it is a dangerous journey. And in that perilous journey, people usually do not go on their own. The whole gamut is coloristic and alarming. Above all, he had to show concern. Concern which is in the nature atmosphere itself, in the surrounding environment. Because everything, what is going on, is to come from above. This is destiny. Canvas of real masters on historical themes does not reflect the events. It shows the feelings of the people associated with them. Kurmangazy Akashev's picture, The Struggle with Destiny, gives us the opportunity to immerse ourselves in the tragic atmosphere of the 1930s. There is no reality anymore, but the author reveals to us the veil of the past. In order to let us remember our roots, and be grateful for the opportunity of being alive.